Fast fashion is everywhere. It's in the bustling shopping malls, the crowded fashion streets, and the trendy stores that line them. It's the clothes you see in stores. It's the latest trends that catch your eye and the outfits that fill your social media feeds. Fast fashion means making clothes quickly and cheaply. It's a system designed to get the latest styles from the runway to the store shelves in record time. These clothes are often trendy and affordable, making it easy for consumers to keep up with the ever-changing fashion landscape without breaking the bank. But there's a lot to learn about fast fashion. Its history is important. Understanding where it came from helps us see where it might be going. It helps us understand its impact on the world. Fast fashion is tempting. It offers affordable style and the thrill of newness. But this comes with a cost. The environmental impact is significant, with mountains of discarded clothing ending up in landfills. We need to think about the environment. The production processes often involve harmful chemicals and result in pollution. We need to think about the people making our clothes. Many garment workers face poor working conditions and low wages. Once we understand fast fashion, we can make better choices. We can opt for sustainable brands and make more thoughtful purchases. We can choose clothes that are good for us and for the planet. Ethical fashion is about making choices that benefit everyone involved. The history of fast fashion is long. It didn't start overnight. It evolved over centuries. It goes back to the Industrial Revolution. This era brought significant changes in how clothes were made, with the introduction of machinery and mass production. It's a story of changing times. Fashion has always been a reflection of society, and as society changed, so did fashion. It's about how technology changed how we make clothes. Advances in technology have made it possible to produce clothing faster and cheaper than ever before. It's also about how our shopping habits changed. The rise of consumer culture and the desire for newness have driven the fast fashion industry. Understanding this history is crucial. It helps us see the bigger picture and the consequences of our choices. It helps us see how we got here. The rapid growth of the fashion industry has had far-reaching effects on the environment and society. It helps us understand the problems with fast fashion. From environmental degradation to human rights issues, the impact is profound, and it helps us find solutions for a more sustainable future. By supporting sustainable fashion, we can help create a better world for future generations. The Industrial Revolution was a time of big changes, a period that transformed societies and economies on a global scale. This era brought new machines and factories, revolutionizing the way goods were produced. It changed how we made things, including clothes, which were previously crafted by hand in small workshops or homes. Before the advent of industrial machinery, clothes were meticulously made by hand, a process that was both time-consuming and labor-intensive. This traditional method was slow and expensive, limiting the availability of clothing to the masses. But the Industrial Revolution changed that dramatically, introducing mechanized production. Machines could now make clothes faster and cheaper, significantly reducing production costs and time. One of the most important inventions of this era was the sewing machine. Elias Howe patented the sewing machine in 1846, a breakthrough that revolutionized garment manufacturing. This machine made sewing much faster and more efficient, allowing for the mass production of clothing. Now factories could produce a large volume of clothes in a short amount of time, meeting the growing demand. This marked the beginning of mass production, a key feature of the Industrial Revolution. Another significant change was the introduction of electricity in factories. Factories could now run machines with electricity, which was more reliable and powerful than steam. This advancement made production lines even faster and more efficient, further boosting output. Clothes could be made on a much larger scale, making them more widely available. The Industrial Revolution made clothes more accessible to the general public, not just the wealthy. More people could afford to buy clothes, leading to a shift in consumer behavior and fashion. This was a big change from the past, where clothing was a significant investment, but it also planted the seeds for fast fashion, a phenomenon that would emerge much later. It made people think about clothes as something they could buy more of, not just what they needed, setting the stage for the modern fashion industry. After World War II, things started to change. People wanted new, stylish clothes, department stores became popular, they offered ready-to-wear clothes at fixed prices. This made shopping easier. People didn't have to go to different shops for different items. Fashion in the 1950s was about looking put together. Men often wore suits and hats. Women wore dresses with cinched waists. It was a time of elegance, but it was also about practicality. People still remembered the war years. They wanted clothes that were stylish and long-lasting. The 1950s was a time of growth for the fashion industry. Clothes were becoming more affordable. People were starting to buy more clothes. This set the stage for the fast fashion boom that was to come. The 1960s were a time of big changes in society. Young people were questioning everything. This included fashion. The styles of the 1950s were out. New trends emerged. This was a time for individuality and self-expression. Hippie culture had a big influence on fashion. Bell-bottoms, tie-dye, and florals were in. The miniskirt also became very popular. Women were pushing boundaries. They were wearing clothes that were more revealing and comfortable. The 1960s showed that fashion was more than just clothes. It was a way to express yourself. It was a way to show what you believed in. This new way of thinking about fashion paved the way for faster trends and the rise of fast fashion. The 1970s to 1980s, global expansion. During the 1970s and 1980s, the way clothes were made changed again. Companies started making clothes in countries where labor was cheaper. This meant they could sell clothes at lower prices. This made fashion even more accessible. Globalization also played a big role. It was now easier to transport clothes around the world. This meant that fashion trends could spread more quickly. What was popular in one country could be in stores in another country very soon after. This period saw the rise of shopping malls. Malls offered a huge variety of clothes at different price points. People could find just about anything they wanted. This made shopping more convenient and more tempting. The 1970s and 1980s were a time of big growth for the fast fashion industry. Companies were finding new ways to make clothes faster and cheaper. This led to an increase in the number of clothes people were buying. The 1990s, Zara changes the game. The 1990s saw the rise of a brand that would change the fashion industry forever, Zara. This Spanish company, founded by Amancio Ortega, introduced a revolutionary concept that would redefine how we think about fashion. Zara introduced a new concept, fast fashion. Unlike traditional fashion brands that release new collections seasonally, Zara brought new styles to their stores every few weeks. This rapid turnover of inventory created a sense of urgency among shoppers. Customers felt compelled to buy items immediately, fearing they might miss out on the latest trends if they waited too long. People felt like they had to buy things right away before they were gone. This strategy not only increased sales but also kept the brand fresh and exciting. Zara's strategy was a huge success. The brand's ability to quickly adapt to changing fashion trends and bring them to market at an affordable price point was unparalleled. They were able to offer trendy clothes at affordable prices. This combination of affordability and trendiness made Zara incredibly popular among a wide range of consumers. This appealed to a lot of shoppers, from teenagers looking for the latest styles to adults wanting to update their wardrobes without breaking the bank. Zara had something for everyone. Other brands started to copy their model. The success of Zara's fast fashion approach did not go unnoticed, and soon, other retailers began to adopt similar strategies. Fast fashion was becoming the norm. The industry saw a significant shift as more and more brands embraced the fast fashion model, leading to a more dynamic and competitive market. The 1990s also saw the rise of casual wear. As lifestyles became more relaxed, so did fashion. People were dressing more casually in their everyday lives. This led to an increased demand for comfortable and affordable clothes. Fast fashion brands like Zara were perfectly positioned to meet this demand, offering a wide range of casual and trendy options. They could quickly produce and distribute new styles, ensuring that their stores were always stocked with the latest trends. The 1990s marked a turning point in the history of fast fashion. The success of Zara's innovative approach demonstrated the potential of fast fashion to revolutionize the industry. By prioritizing speed and responsiveness, Zara set a new standard for how fashion brands could operate. It made fast fashion more accessible and desirable than ever before. The impact of Zara's strategy continues to be felt today, as fast fashion remains a dominant force in the industry. The 2000s, the rise of social media and fast fashion. The 2000s brought about another big change, social media. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube became incredibly popular. People started sharing their lives online, including what they were wearing. Social media had a huge impact on fashion. Trends spread faster than ever before. Influencers became incredibly powerful. They could make or break a trend just by wearing something. Fast fashion brands were quick to capitalize on this. They started collaborating with influencers and using social media to promote their products. The 2000s also saw the rise of online shopping. It was now easier than ever to buy clothes from the comfort of your own home. This made fast fashion even more accessible. The 2000s were a time of unprecedented growth for the fast fashion industry. Social media and online shopping made it easier than ever for people to buy the latest trends at affordable prices. The environmental price of trends. The rise of fast fashion has come at a cost to our planet. The fashion industry is now one of the most polluting industries in the world. It uses huge amounts of water and energy. It produces a lot of waste. One of the biggest problems is the use of harmful chemicals. These chemicals are used to grow cotton and to dye and treat clothes. These chemicals can pollute water sources and harm wildlife. Another problem is the short lifespan of fast fashion clothes. These clothes are not made to last. They are often thrown away after only a few wears. This creates a lot of textile waste. Much of this waste ends up in landfills, where it can take hundreds of years to decompose. The environmental impact of fast fashion is a serious issue. We need to find ways to make the fashion industry more sustainable. The human cost of fast fashion. The low prices of fast fashion come at a hidden cost: the exploitation of garment workers. The vast majority of fast fashion clothes are made in developing countries, where labor costs are low. Garment workers, often women, face harsh working conditions. They work long hours for very little pay. They are often exposed to dangerous chemicals and unsafe working conditions. In 2013, the Rana Plaza factory in Bangladesh collapsed, killing over 1,100 garment workers. This tragedy highlighted the human cost of fast fashion. The way fast fashion treats its workers is unacceptable. We need to demand better working conditions and fair wages for all garment workers.